All right, so today I'm joined by Trevin, 5-star Jones, after his fight last night at Cage Warriors 165. How are you, man?
I'm good, my guys. How it is?
So kind of, let's get right into it. It was a unanimous decision loss. You're protesting it. A lot of people were upset about it. I know he had some fans who were happy he won too, so I won't put it all out one-sided. But what are your thoughts on that fight, man?
Man, I thought I could have won 30-27. 30-27 to him was ridiculous. I for sure won 2 rounds easy. The first round, I think I was winning the first round too until he got a little bit of tick down at the end. I don't know how that could have went, but that was the only round I saw him. Maybe they could have given it to him, but I thought for sure when they said 30-27, the first judge, I thought for sure that was me. Like that was an easy call. Like everyone saw the fight, man. It's a fight. It's not anything else besides a fight. When it comes to a fight, I definitely won the fight easily.
Yeah, I mean, from my take, when I heard 30-27, the most clear round was the second round, which was for you. So I thought easily, I was like, okay, 30-27, Trevin won the clearest round. He got it, but
and then not only that, like if you say the second round was the clearest round, my clearest round to me is the third. Like
third.
All the damage in the third, like he only got the back at the end and went for a choke. That's all he did in the third round was got the back, like 40 seconds left. Went for a choke, and I pounded him. I pounded him from the back too, and I damaged him up there. So, man, that was a clear unanimous to me, man. Like that was a real robbery right there, man. That was horrible.
And after the fight too, you were pissed off. You're like yelling at people outside the cage. Who are you talking to? The judges and shit like that, or the fans?
It was just like teams going at it, man. We went at it for a while on the back too. The whole commission had to settle us down. But man, they know we won, man. You can see the faces, you can see the body language. When we're at the doctors after, they know we won the fight, man. I know. We had talks after too, man. We ran into each other again outside, and we didn't get all crazy this time. We talked it out normally, and then they know I won that fight, man. I'm clear, and I know I won that fight, and I believe I won that fight clear. I don't think it was close, man. On the damage, on the hit, the lands, man. Like all those kicks, all those body kicks, man. I think I won the hand battle too easily. Like, man, I really won that fight, man. That was a horrible call, man. I think they just wanted to rise up their own boy and get his name out there over me, but the realization of the fight was that I really had won.
Yeah. And I just to go back a little bit, like after you were walking out of the octagon, his team was yelling at you and shit, or like because they saw you protesting, so that's why you guys started arguing again.
Everybody was just yelling, man. Like my team was upset. His team was like trying to say, "Oh, we won," but only one guy on his team was trying to say he won, man. Joe Daddy and all those guys, they knew, man. They know we won.
Okay.
Only like the older man in his corner was really like, protecting, which he should. But yeah, we won that fight, man. I don't care what Rob has to say. I don't care what his team has to say. You were at the fight, bro. Like
I was at the fight, yeah.
How did the fight go? Let's be honest.
The way I was looking at it, because it was kind of close. But from my take, right, obviously, I'm a fan of yours. I'll just put that out there. I'm Guamanian, so I can't even help it. I'm a little biased. But I was at the end of it when they're tallying up the scorecards, I was like, all right, each round, it wasn't like I was worried that you lost it at all. So usually, when you're a fan of somebody, the truth kind of underneath. So if you were to lose the round, I would have felt like, oh, fuck, man, Trevin just lost that round. Like, fuck, I hope he gets this win. But, like, I wasn't really feeling that at the end of the fight at all. So that's why I was like, all right, if I'm not really thinking like that, he must have kind of clearly won it, because I can't really look at it with clear eyes in a way, because I'm a fan of yours. So I was like, if I don't really think he, like, lost any rounds or anything like that, or like, he was getting beat up, then I don't see how the judges could see that.
Man, I'm an honest guy, and I feel the same way as you about being in there. Like, if I was in there and I lost the round and it was clear, I can feel, I lost that round clear. I got enough losses to be able to tell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have that experience. You saw my body language, right, when I went to fight. And then you saw how I ran up to the top of the cage. You saw me. You saw his language. You saw everybody's language. You heard when they announced him. You heard the boos. Like, that was his hometown. Like, he shouldn't have any boos, man, when it comes to something like that, man. Like, man, I got hundreds. I don't even need to protect this for myself, man. My phone's still ringing right now while we're on the interview of
Yeah.
robbery politics is still going off. It's been going off all day. And I just know for sure that I won that fight, man. And there's just not much I can do right now besides try to appeal it. It's not something that I think I would ever have to do, man. But that was a clear robbery, man. I damaged that guy up, man. Like face and damage overall, body, leg kicks. Man, I damaged that boy. There was no way he shouldn't have got his hand raised over me, man. I flew 22 hours to make that fight happen. This is not a fight where you just get the back for 40 seconds and get a little control in the third round and you get that round. And they're like, who saw 30-27? Like, where is this coming from? Like, this guy, I rocked him at least 3-4 times, man. Like, I had him, like, he tried to come at me. I caught him with a couple of check hooks over in his head. Man,
yeah, because you landed the cleaner shots. That's the other part of it. The cleaner shots, which counts,
I definitely landed the cleaner shots. Like, he didn't have any shots that impacted that was like, oh, Trav's in trouble. He didn't have any shots like that or any really moment. Only the rear naked choke in the end of the third, but that wasn't even in. And then when I released that, I pounded him out. So, like, he didn't have any clear moments in this fight, really. Like, he fought back, but he didn't have any clear moments where, like, hey, you won this fight. I had way more clear moments than him where, like, there was damage. And then the body language showed. Look at him going into the third. He was beat up, man. He was already I was still in there, So that a lot of different things told me, like, man, you won this fight. And he knows I won that fight, man. I looked him in the eyes. I talked to him, I read his soul. I won that fight.
Yeah. And as far as like part of it, how like I kind of scored it too, and it's like this is a kind of confusing. So maybe you tell me your thoughts on it. Like, I think the way the judges might have seen it is when you jump guillotine a couple times and it didn't pan out for you, maybe they like took that as he stole the round from you in some way. But it's like you're being the aggressor, you're going for finishes, you're attempting submissions. So like that should go for something. And then one of the times you jumped the guillotine, you got back up, like you swept him, right? And then you ended up back on top. So it's like that one should have never even counted for a win of that round. But like that's the way I'm seeing him stealing the rounds is like by you jumping guillotine, basically.
Yeah, I had 2 close chokes, so I went for it, right? And that's exactly what it was. Like that's the only way he ended up on top of me. That's the only way he ended up getting a little bit of control time. But at the same time, like his damage on those control time was nothing. Like I feel like how can you give it to him but not give it to Wilson Hayes? Like, Wilson Hayes did way more than him when I fought Wilson Hayes here last time. Way more. And, like, Wilson didn't even get the nod. And I hit this guy just as much as I hit Wilson, man. And he did less than Wilson. And he got the nod. Like, he did less than Wilson. He did not have no control time like Wilson. Like, Wilson actually controlled me for a long time in the second. Wilson got a couple good takedowns in the third, but I got the knockdowns and the hard hits on Wilson. This guy didn't get any hits or any. It wasn't really back and forth. He just had like ending moments, like last round 40 seconds holding on. Like he didn't have anything where like he owned it and took control,
right?
And won the fight. He had nothing like that in this fight, man. He was just fighting back, but he lost the fight. That's just how I feel, man. I can't say it any other way. I'm not even being biased. If I thought I lost, I wouldn't be going this far. But this fight, man, I'm too fresh. Like I'm fresh right now, bro. Like I could have fought again. We could have went 5 rounds. Like, I was still fresh. Like, that boy couldn't even go another 2 rounds with me. Another round, he couldn't. He was done.
Yeah, and people don't really know, like, what goes behind this because, like, the last time we talked, you're talking about how, like, now that you're post your UFC career trying to, like, work your way to get back in there, you're being more selective of your opponents. That's why you took, like, Wilson. Even this opponent, he was a good opponent for you. I think he's undefeated in Cage Warriors. He's a talker, too, which was good. It promoted the fight. People were excited. So... and then you travel 22 hours. So just for all this, what are your thoughts on that in a way?
Yeah, man, that's horrible, man. Like I came all the way to fight and represent my team, my family.
And being selective. So it's like now, with your next opponent having a loss that maybe you shouldn't have gotten, it's like, how can you be selective moving forward again, taking these good matchups, That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, man, I was trying to get the best matchups possible. And, Wilson was a great matchup because he was a legend, and then this guy was a good matchup because, I didn't to steal that win streak from him, and I believe I did more than enough. Not even a little bit. I did more than enough to beat that guy, man. Like, I really beat that guy, and, it's just hard, man. It's like, not only that, it's my money, it's my record, it's like everything. You guys are making my resume look bad. Like, you guys are killing me inside, man. Like, what do I gotta do to get a fair shake, man? This is the MMA game, man. These guys need to learn to be fair. This is people's jobs. This is people's lives. it's a competitive sport at the same time, but like, man, they need to learn how to not be biased when it comes to these type of things, because 30-27 is ridiculous, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Well, that's when like, what did they do to these cards? Like 30-27, where at?
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Yeah, they're wild, bro. Even 29-28 for him is crazy, man. Like, still, none of those judges saw me winning that fight. That's when you know they're robbing me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if none of those judges saw me winning that fight, that's just ridiculous. How can every fan in the arena boo and all these messages be flying into me, but the judges who's in charge of judging cannot see who won the fight? That's when you know there's robberies involved. Point blank, period.
Yeah, I mean, California, he comes from Cali. His coach is like connected in Cali probably, so I don't know if they're friends with the judges or something, but who knows what can happen. That's tough though when you fight a hometown boy.
Automatic, bro. But
yeah,
it wasn't a like the Wilson fight was much closer of a hometown boy fight. Yeah,
because he trains out of San Diego too, right?
Yeah. This wasn't even, bro. I don't even feel like this fight was close, man. I feel like I beat him up and I did like the more harder, powerful shots all the way through this fight. Like, honestly, like, yeah, like he fought back and he did some good things too, but it just wasn't even close enough, bro. It wasn't even like, it wasn't enough to even get a win. Like, you did a couple things, like he did a couple good things, and some of those things I matched those things that he did, and I did stuff on top of that. So I just don't think it was even a close call, man. It was super biased. It really was.
And I guess I kind of insinuated that the judges are from California, but they do travel all over, right? So I guess I was wrong with that.
Where you're coming from. Like, yeah, man, it is what it is, man. I'm gonna think what I think. Is people are gonna think what they think. The world's gonna think what they think. Life goes on, but at the same time, like, the way that I keep moving on in a fight game is, I got a lot of fights like this. I fought everyone in their backyard, and it always ends up like this, man. But in my heart, when you feel like you really won, you can keep moving forward. Only when, like, if I was really trash and I lost these fights, then I won't be able to move forward, because I'm not gonna go out there and get embarrassed again and again. But I'm not getting embarrassed in these fights. Like, these are good fights. I'm putting up great fights. These guys have great records, but they're not even, doing anything spectacular to me, or they're talking like he's talking about my record and all that. But, bro, I whipped you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that guy with those losses was whipping on you, bro. And he knows that for a fact, man. All his boxing, all his shots, everything got pretty much shut down, He's supposed to be a guy with great body shots, man. I was blocking those body shots and everything. It didn't get through at all. And I was very happy about blocking all his body shots and just not letting him reach out and be able to get it, man. Like, I feel like my check hook just shut down his whole game, man. He couldn't throw like he usually throws. He couldn't come after like he come after. And I know he trained. I know that boy put in hella work for this fight, but I was the better competitor that night. And that's just, and I don't care what anybody have to say. People can call me, crybaby, Trey, you're crying or whatever. Nah, bro, this is fair. This is my life. This is my job. This is how I make my money. This is my record, my family, my life. Everything's on the line, treat me fair, treat me right. That's what I'm asking for. People think when you go online and you get all crazy that you're just supposed to take it. Oh, you lost. Be quiet. Sit down. No, I'm letting you guys know I ain't won. My head is still high. My head was higher than his head, and he won. That's how I know I won a fight. My head was higher than his head. When we walked out everywhere, all the way through, all the way out, when I saw him 2 more times, my head was higher than his head. That's how I know I won the fight. He knew to look down because I won that fight. Everyone knew. Man, Joe Daddy, everyone knew, man. They all knew his corners, man. I won that fight, man. That's an easy fight to call.
What did you guys say to each other when you saw each other, when you kind of were able to calm down? Did you guys talk about kind of how the fight went or anything like that?
Yeah, we did, man. He's like, like I said, he knows who won that fight, baby. Big Daddy Rob. I won that fight, Big Daddy Rob.
You guys cool though now or what? I mean, obviously you want to run that back, or you're going to appeal maybe? What are you thinking? I saw your comment.
I'm going to definitely have to appeal that, man, because, like, it's only fair, man. I heard you don't even win these appeals, but I got to throw that appeal out there, bro. How can you beat me? Like, go watch that fight. I ain't even watched it yet, but I ain't got to go watch this fight back. I know what happened. I see how my body feels. I'm fresh, bro. I just got out of the shower. I feel good. I ain't taking no damage. You see, even when I leg kick a guy that much, so my foot be hurting and my foot was broken in a Wilson fight, so I threw no kicks. This fight, I had my foot coming off being broken, and I threw a lot of kicks, and my foot's still fresh. Like, man, this guy didn't even, like, I could fight today, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Big Daddy Rock can't fight today. I'm telling you, his legs beat up, boy. His legs beat up, and I beat up his body. And I'm not even a kicker, bro. And I was kicking him up. You know, I think I landed way more strikes on the feet, too. Better, cleaner, harder, solider strikes. I had my little control time. He had his little control time, so I won the fight, bro. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't even close, you know.
I mean, something else I'm thinking about, and then I want to talk about like what's next for you too. But last thing about the fight is, you know, from a ring control perspective, what you were doing in there was very impressive. You know, like to be able to control the pace, kind of dance around, pick your shots. People might look at that as, oh, he's like pressing forward in a sense, but I saw kind of what you were doing too. You know, you're using your skills in there, trying to set stuff up, backing up,
Yes,
you know, pressing forward here and there. But yes, I saw what you're doing. So from a boxing perspective, it gets more appreciated than in MMA, what your style is kind of.
Yeah, man. I was luring him in a lot, and he was falling for those traps too. I was making him fight in my corner a lot. You know, every time we got close to his corner, I'll back up. People don't see that. I'm smart. I back up. That's the experience. And in that way, we get into a clinch or a takedown or a wrestling battle where on my side, you got to deal with my corner talking. There's a lot of tricky things that I do out there that people don't understand, man, but I was doing it a lot. Like, my corner don't even understand the time. They're like, press. I'm like, nah, I'm bringing them over here, wait. I'm bringing them over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, my game it's a different type of game, but the fighter feels it more than the judges, you know? That's what I feel about my style. I'm like, these fighters that I fight, every time it's a robbery like this, when I talk to the fighter himself and we become friends through Instagram or whatever, the respect they give lets me know that I won the fight. You know, the way they talk to me, the way they ask me to train like Rob Coach did and all that, like, that lets me know, Trev, you did your thing out there, bro.